I recently asked people what they would like me to do videos on. And there were some pen-related topics, there were a couple non-pen related topics, and in the context of switching things up a little bit once in a while to keep things interesting. Yes, it's still a pen channel, it'll remain a pen channel, but one question was, can you talk about favorite books and movies you've seen or watched recently? And I think I can. I'm going to start with books. If you are a reader, then you know that you have a stack and it takes a while to get through books. But a dear colleague gave me two books by Mary Roach. And I finished the first, I'm now reading the second one, and I'm really enjoying them. So I'll give you some context. Mary Roach is a research journalist, and she writes really interesting books about the science of specific topics. And the first book I read is called Stiff, and it's about corpses and how they use corpses. So it's a little bit, there's of course some med school and anatomy and how she describes, I don't want to say anything that might freak people out too much, but I mean there's a chapter on plastic surgeons who are practicing on cadaver heads. There is you have to like this sort of stuff. Obviously, there is a chapter on how they use cadavers as test dummies in cars, because test dummies just don't respond the way human tissues do, so they take fresh cadavers, they use them for that. They talk about transplants. It gets weirder and weirder until the point where they talk about like actual full-on head transplants, so putting your head on somebody else's body. And it's not like it's not fiction, right? It's actual. It's based on interviews, observations she's done, places she's gone to. Oh, and a really good one was that sort of those body farms where, law enforcement agencies have corpses to study decay. It's obviously extremely macabre. That should go without saying. But I really enjoyed reading it. It's very interesting to learn, and I've said that in the past, I do lean a lot towards non-fiction in books, but very interesting to read all those things that they do with cadavers that I would never have thought of. So quite interesting. Her second book I'm reading now, it's called Grunt, and it's about military science, so all kinds of different things. I've just finished the chapter on how they like sweat and heat, how they combat overheating in the army, which is obviously a big thing when you are, let's say, in a desert, but you also have 100 pounds of gear and vests and like all that kind of stuff. Very interesting. I found one thing really comical there. She was talking about how they armor vehicles so that if they drive over a mine, the people inside are okay. And the author said something along the lines of, because that armor plating weighs so much, they need to strip anything non-essential out of the car. Otherwise, the weight is so heavy that the engines of the cars burn out. I nearly said motor, it's very Dutch. But the engines burn out really quickly because they're just not rated to pull that weight, right? And so she's in one of those vehicles and she points at something and she tells one of these army guys who's with her, but they left the cup holders in. And he says, yeah, those are rifle holders. I thought it was funny. So very interesting, very well researched. And she has books on a lot of different topics. So I'm definitely interested in reading more of her work. So I've certainly had a lot of fun with that, I would say. As to movies, I've been watching a lot of streaming things. A movie I recently rewatched and that I continue to find absolutely stellarly done and very touching is Hanami. It's a German movie. The German title is Kirschblüten, so cherry blossoms, Hanami. It's set partially in Bavaria, which I love because the accent of people there is very much like the accent of my godmother who lives in Tyrol in Austria, which is the next country down, just to be clear. So I enjoy that, and It also largely plays it's set in Japan. And I don't mean to give away too much of the story, because if you give away the punchline of that movie, the huge surprise is gone. But in a nutshell, the premise is a man is terminally ill. His wife doesn't want to tell him that he's terminally ill. She wants to give him one final adventure. And it's very touching, at moments really funny, at moments really sad and emotional, and I cannot watch the end of that movie without crying. I just can't. So if ever you have a chance, I know it's a German movie, so you in the English speaking world you may have to look around a bit, but Cherry Blossoms, fantastic movie. From, I'm completely blanking on her name, but a German female director, if I remember correctly. Really worthwhile to watch. In completely other and fully stupid, sort of mindless watching stuff, I recently rewatched the Book of Boba Fett, and I still liked it a lot. I thought the storyline of Boba Fett, the bounty hunter, becoming a crime lord was kind of stupid, and it's not great at all. But the part of him spending time with the Tusken Raiders and learning their culture and starting to care about them and starting to help them, I thought was really cool. That may have been my favorite part of the show. But at the end of the day, it features Boba Fett. He's my favorite Star Wars character. So what can I say? I just had to. And the first time I viewed it, I thought it was certainly nice, but upon rewatching it, it really has some neat stuff in it. So I really enjoyed it, and it's weird, and it's a paper-thin plot, and it's silly in a lot of ways. But that doesn't mean I can't enjoy it. So those are some of the things I've been enjoying, reading, watching. What have you been reading and watching? And what do you think I should read and watch too? Let me know in the comments, and I shall check it out. Thanks for watching. I hope I haven't bored you. I'm glad to see you later. Bye!